Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Moon Day Messages. I want to apologize. I did not show up last week. I got sick. I had a stomach bug, and then it got better. And like 2 days later, I had a sore throat. So I was just not feeling my best, and I decided to rest. But we're back with some interesting energies. We have two different gates that the sun is moving into during this week. We are currently still in gate 29, which the sun moved into a couple of days ago, which is the gate of perseverance. And this is the kind of energy that is commitment energy, determination, and saying yes. Saying yes with conviction, but saying yes being discerning too. It is not the energy to say yes to anything and everything. It is more about knowing what is in alignment in that moment to say yes to, and where are you overcommitting. Okay? And the things that you then decided to say yes to because you were balanced and you made a commitment that is in alignment with your energy, to then stick with it and actually show up. We're moving into, or the sun is transiting into gate 59 on Thursday, which is the gate of sexuality. It's getting spicy. Both of these gates are located in the sacral center, which is the life force energy, creation energy, and sexual energy center in our body. And this energy, the gate of sexuality, as from Thursday, is about intimacy, procreation, breaking down barriers to create closeness and trust between one another. So it's not just about sex itself. It is not just about procreation. It is also about creation in general, since, again, the sacral center is life force energy, creation energy, sexual energy. So it's all the same source. So this is, for example, why being celibate for a while actually creates the opportunity to use that energy that you otherwise lose during sex for something else, to create something. I was celibate for 3 years, and I turned my entire life around during that time. I started in October 2020 and ended it in September 2023. So it was almost 3 years. And during that time, I left behind Germany. I moved to Portugal. Then I moved to Bali. I created my human design business. I created my coaching business. I created this oracle deck, which, if you have been watching the Moon Day messages, you already know. They're going to come to play today as well. I created my poetry book, which is here somewhere. I created a lot of stuff during these 3 years. So just that you understand that that energy, because it comes from the sacral center, is not just sexual energy, it's actual creation energy, because this is really what sexual energy is about when we think about procreation. So this energy that the sun is moving into on Thursday is not just about sex, but it also is about intimacy and trust. But you can't get pregnant. There is an energy around this. Or you can get pregnant with a new project or a new business idea or something similar. Okay? So however you want to use that energy, be careful if you don't want to get pregnant. If you want to, it's a beautiful time. And yeah, so that is the kind of energy that we are moving into on Thursday. But for now, it is still that determination, saying yes to things after using your discernment, if that makes sense. Picking your battles is also an energy here, right? Like, don't say yes to anything and everything, but if you do, stick with it. Then what else came through while I was meditating is, don't sell yourself short. What came through is like, what is keeping you from showing up in your bigness? We just had a full moon in Aquarius yesterday, and it was a very, very, very powerful full moon. This is really the energy about where are you still selling yourself short? Where are you not allowing yourself to be seen? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of other people thinking or saying about you? What is it that keeps you from showing up the way you deep down really want to show up just because you're afraid of what other people might think? Easier said than done, but it is really about being fearless and being fierce during this time. This is what came up as well. So even if you have to turn on your alter ego, do it. That's what came through. Spirit was like, even if you have to pretend a little bit and, like step into your alter ego, this is what is going to eventually help you to get comfortable in that energy of showing up consistently, showing up in your bigness, showing up in your way, showing up in your authentic way, and get comfortable with more eyes being on you and potentially people saying what they have to say about you, which is usually more around their insecurity, their fears, and their shit that they're projecting onto you than what is really about you. Okay, so it does not matter. I just, funnily enough, did a post on that yesterday, not caring about people disliking me, because that's what happens if you are in the public eye a little bit and you have some followers on Instagram and you are out there doing this kind of work and showing up consistently in front of camera. People always have to say something, but it does not matter, because I know that you listening, watching, I mean, you could be a hater too, but I trust that you are one that wants to follow this content because you want to know what's going up energetically and you want to benefit from that energy. I'm not doing this. Yes, I'm a Leo. I like to be seen. I like to be on stage. I like to be in the spotlight. But this work I'm not doing solely to be seen. I do it because I want to help people. I do it because I want to share the gift that I was given with other people and help them unlock their own gifts. This is why I'm doing the coaching. This is why I'm doing human design. This is why I do this free content, so that people can actually benefit from the gift that I was given. So let the haters be haters. That just really shows that you're doing something right. Okay, so if you're afraid of that, which I'm guilty of still, like there's still moments where I'm just like, oh, do I really want to say that? Or I post it with my eyes closed and be like, oh my God, this is going to be difficult. But like as long as it's authentically you wanting to express that based on your soul level, you're doing the right thing. It does not matter what other people have to say, because at the end of the day, you're doing it for yourself and hopefully for some others that can benefit from it. Okay, so another thing that came through is tapping into your childlike spirit that literally didn't give a shit. Remember when you were pretending to be someone, or like you were playing something, like you didn't give a shit how it looked like, you didn't give a shit of what people might say or think. That is the kind of energy that I'm talking about. That is what you need to tap back into, because this is the most authentic version of yourself. You were born as the most authentic version of yourself, and then are being conditioned into stopping certain behaviors, certain ways of navigating life, certain ways of communicating, certain ways of the way you talk, certain ways of the way you move, because someone at some point said something about this and put their opinion on it. So you stopped doing that. You stopped expressing yourself freely, right? And it is because of the conditionings that others put upon you. When you really understand what that means and then start working around it and against it, this is when you can break free of these shackles of being afraid what others have to say. Okay? If you really wanted to take a deep dive into doing that, that's exactly what I do in my coaching and more. But that is one of the topics that we're going through, to just really become the most authentic version of yourself. Because when you're the most authentic version of yourself, guess what? You're also going to be the most magnetic version of yourself, which means you're going to attract all of the things that you desire on a soul level, just because you raised your vibration towards the most authentic version of yourself. So really expressing yourself the way you intended to be. And therefore, there is no other way but you being magnetic energetically. And there's no other way for the universe and God to give you what is a match to that frequency. which are the things that you are desiring deep down. Okay, so shout out to your sister. I have some capacity for coaching. I will love to guide you through this. But let's get back to the message. What else came through is, oh yeah, some signs that I asked Spirit to talk to me about that will show you that this message is for you are purple flowers, 777, 222, 1111, usually on a clock, and a brown butterfly is what they showed me. So if either of these things are printed on a shirt, printed on a flyer, printed, or you see it in a commercial on TV, or you actually see purple flowers or an actual brown butterfly, you see on a license plate 777-222 or 1111 on the clock or 222 on the clock, or it's on your bill because you bought something. Like, it does not matter where you see it. If you see it either after you watch that, or you started watching it and then you see it and come back and watch the rest, or you're watching it and you're seeing it later, one of these signs, that just really is an emphasis of Spirit of like, okay, maybe rewatch it if there's something that you maybe missed, or just pay attention to it again. Just know that if you see one of these signs, that this message really is for you. It is for everyone that is watching it regardless. But if you're seeing one of these signs, then there's something specific in that message, and you will know what it is. That's the crazy and beautiful thing about our intuition. You just have to trust it and don't question it. If there's something that I'm saying and like there's a physical reaction, like goosebumps or a sigh, or you're breathing in, or you get a tingly feeling, or you literally hear that's it, or something like that, just trust it, okay? Because then that message is for you, okay? So for everyone that has been watching the Moon Day messages, you know how it goes. For everyone that is new, let me just like wrap it up real quick for you. So I start always with the transit, the human design transit that the sun is moving into, the 2 gates in this case that I already talked about in the beginning. Then I talk about what I channeled while I was meditating. And then we're going to get into the human design oracle deck to either confirm the messages or get new messages to see what else is going on this week. Okay, so let's do this right now. Okay, Spirit, what is it that the collective needs to know right now for this week, for this full moon energy, for us moving into Virgo season, out of Leo season? What is it that the collective needs to know this week? It's also a really good time right now to tend to your sacral center, to pay attention to it. If you have a creative idea, please follow it. If you want to be creative, but there is somewhat of a block, it will be the sacral center that you have to pay attention to. So orange color, wear more orange, eat more orange things, surround yourself with orange, do a sacral meditation. There are lots of them for free on YouTube. Just free journal, just start painting, just start dancing, do something creative to trigger it, okay? Okay, what are the messages for this week, collective spirit? What is it that we need to know? What is it that we need to know, Spirit? You? What is it that we need to know right now? Is there something else that we need to know right now, Spirit? That's it? Okay. You can't make this shit up, people. The first one that came out is loop. So some of you feel like you are in a loop. You're not getting out of a pattern that you keep repeating. The card says, pay attention to where you are looping during this time. Spirit asks you to look into your own patterns, whether it is your relationships, work environment, money related, or your personal life. There are one or several loops that need to be released. They served you for a while, they kept you safe, but they ran their course. It's time to release these patterns. And the next one that came out is oceans. Your emotions are running high. Make sure to give yourself some time to feel through whatever is coming up for you during this time. You might be ignoring or pushing away these emotions for a while. Emotions want to be felt and move to be released. You need to feel them to heal them. Be compassionate with yourself during this process. So this is very much full moon energy, specifically this one that we are moving through right now with all of the retrograde energy. It brings up a lot of things, a lot of old patterns, a lot of old ways, a lot of old thinking patterns, because it's Aquarius, which is an air sign, and it is very much mental talk, right? It is also conversations with others. It's many different ways when it comes to the word and communicating. But that's why these old patterns are coming up to be released, and they will be connected to emotions that are heavy and uncomfortable. So this is what you are going through right now, which is absolutely necessary. So allow yourself the time to do so. You might actually feel a little bit sick or exhausted, tired. Maybe you weren't able to sleep last night during the full moon like I wasn't able to. This is all coming up for you to revisit it, specifically because Mercury is still retrograde, and then we also have Neptune and Saturn being in retrograde still. So it is really all happening for us right now to revisit and readjust these things that we have been wanting to release. So this is why they are coming up again. And that is the misconception that a lot of people have when these things are coming up. They think like, oh, I'm falling back into old patterns, and why is that happening again? I thought I already went through this. This is not really what it is for. It coming up again is to show you that it wants to be released, because it coming up, like if you really think about it physically, if it comes up again from your body emotionally and you start feeling it, you just have to release it through crying, through laughter, through writing it out, through dancing it out, through sweating it out, through shaking it out. There are so many different ways how you can release energy. So just give yourself the time and allow yourself to feel these emotions so that they can be released, okay? And then the next two cards that came out is Desert, which is you are being asked to take action now. Whatever it is that you are lingering on, we are setting our manifestations and motions through action taking. The time is now. Whatever it is that you want to come to fruition is what needs your attention and physical action right now. Do not shy away from potential responsibilities during this time frame. This opportunity wouldn't have presented itself if you weren't ready. Go take your life into your own hands. And then the next one is literally creation. That's exactly what I have been talking about. This is exactly the energy that we are moving through right now. This is the action taking. This is gate 29, determination, saying yes to things and finally taking action. And then we're moving into gate 59, which is about creation, actual creation of a human being or a business, a project, or whatever else. You're creating something new right now or very soon. It will be focused on building something that lasts, something meaningful and important to you. Know that it will be fruitful and highly supported by your spirit team and guides. Or you might literally create life right now or in the near future. Congratulations on whatever creation comes to life through you. And then on the bottom of the deck, like you can't make this shit up, people, is expression. That is exactly what I have been channeling as well. What are you afraid? Like where do you sell yourself short? Where do you have to express yourself and be fearless and move into that energy, right? It's time to voice your needs during this time. You might need to speak up towards someone who is not showing you the respect you deserve. Is there a boundary you need to set? Are you being heard or seen? For this to become natural, get into throat chakra opening techniques. Your throat chakra wants to be used and nourished by expressing yourself in whatever way comes naturally to you. Expression doesn't only come to life through words. You might feel drawn to dance, write, or paint to bring those feelings and sensations within you to life. So creation, that is exactly what I have been talking about. Expression through creation. This is what you are being asked right now. That is one part, letting go, feeling that shit so that you can get out of this loop, and then taking action through expression, through creating. Okay, the card on the bottom of the deck, the way I read it, is always going to be an overall energy for that entire reading, which makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you can only express when you take these steps. Okay, so it's a very clear message. I love it. It definitely speaks to me as well. I'm so grateful for you to be here. I'm so grateful for you to trust me in reading the energy and you taking it in and following it. I would love for you to let me know in the comments if it resonates, what resonated. Let me know if you see 777, 222, 1111, purple flowers, or a brown butterfly, or what else was in resonance with you. I'm still building this channel, so you liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing is really, really, really helping me. So please help me with this, and I'm excited for this week. This is beautiful energy. Beautiful energy. Okay, my loves, you got this. Get into it. It's time. 2025 is around the corner. Get ready, because things is going to be switched up by then latest. Okay, the energy is shifting big time. Big time. We're being prepared for a very, very big shift in 2027, which I guess now that I brought it up, it's another time, or it's time again to talk about it again. So maybe I actually make a longer video about it. I've been talking about this on Instagram for a while and some podcasts as well. But yeah, maybe it's time to make a YouTube video about this. So maybe that's what I'm going to do soon. 2027, big shift in February, and we're being prepared for it already since 2020, basically. So I know that you can feel it. So it's time for you to step up, because when that shift happens, you want to be ready. Trust me. Okay? I love you guys. Talk to you next week.